welcome to the Movie Throne. I'm your host, the one and only King Kansas, here to bring you another movie review right here on YouTube land. Wow, guys, I can't believe I did it. I actually bit the bullet, and I don't know what made me do it, but it's like someone twisted my hand from behind my back and said, you know what, King, you're going to watch this movie, even if it kills you. Well, I'm glad to say that my arm was forced to watch this, but I'm not in danger whatsoever. What the hell is the king talking about? Well, guys, I watched a little movie starring Will Smith called Gemini Man. Yes, don't turn off the screen. Don't run for your life or anything. I decided after hearing all the, basically shit this movie's been taking that, this movie sucks. It's bad. Don't bother. It bombed in the theater. Do not watch this film. It totally sucks. Well, I don't listen to people. You know that. I'm better than you guys know me better than anybody. I'm the king for God's sakes, right? So, like I always told you guys, watch things for yourself. Then can you honestly make an honest opinion and say, you know what? Yeah, this movie is not for everybody or it sucks, right? Listen to me. That's who you have to listen to. Anyways, okay. I'm gonna start off the bat. I know I'm gonna get people fucking disliking the below, pardon my language, but this movie wasn't as bad as people made it out to be. I'll tell you right now. Yes, it was weak. The plot was basic. The computer graphics of the other Will Smith looked bad at times. You could tell that it was fake. Like you could see it, especially the last 10 minutes of the film. It's like they forgot to kind of like really put money into the film, and that kind of took you a little bit away. But the camera angles that they were saying that it was jarring and people bouncing, maybe it's because I watched it on the small screen and on the big screen and it kind of didn't jump all over the place. I followed it no problem, so that wasn't an issue for me when I watched this movie starring Will Smith. It's only about an hour, maybe 47 minutes, guys, something like that, but it's your basic storyline. I'll do a non-spoiler and then a little bit of spoiler because there's not much really to ruin. It's a basic film. Basically, Will Smith is some sort of paid-for-hire assassin that works for the government. Beginning of the film opens up. He ends up taking out his target. You later find out that he's been set up inadvertently by the person who he thought he could trust, which gets backstabbed by another person. So it's one person backstabbing another person to achieve a goal. And as a result, Will Smith now is an enemy of the state, if you want to call it that. One of his old movies, Hint and Wink Wink. That's a good movie. Check that one out. Way back in his career. Check it out. You'll like that. But anyways, so he's then, unfortunately, on the run. Everybody wants to kill him. He meets up with other agents. He meets up with Mary Elizabeth Winstead's character, who's kind of been hired to kind of keep an eye on him because Will Smith is near the end of his career. He's in his 50s, early 50s. He wants to retire, and he knows that he's losing a step, and he doesn't want to do something bad when retire and kind of tarnish what he has. And unfortunately, he has no choice, and then he's on the run. Buddies that he goes to visit end up getting killed. He's a target. He's running for his life. He drags Mary Elizabeth Winstead's character, Danny, with him just to save her life kind of thing. Meets up with Benedict Wong, his buddy that he served with him, to kind of flee, but hell follows him right there, guys. You got this younger version of Will Smith being sent to go after him. And that's where it goes. And like everything else, very simple plot. The truth starts to come out of maybe why he's around, why there's a clone, if he is a clone, and who's really behind it. So everything starts to unravel. Leads to amazing chase scenes on the bike. Man, there's one cool bike scene that the clone uses his bike to go after Will Smith, and I'll just leave it at that. That's pretty cool. The action's there, but like I said, I find myself kind of like, if this movie was like an hour and 30 minutes, it would have been okay, but that extra 17 minutes is okay. It's not like you're pulling teeth to watch this film. Overall, it was good. It was decent. It wasn't the greatest thing you'll watch, and it didn't suck. So it's in between, right? For me, honestly, it barely gets a pass. That's what I'm going to have to say. Do I suggest for you guys to go check it out? No, you don't have to watch this. It's not one of his better films. You're not going to die if you don't see it, and you're not going to die if you watch it. Trust me. It's not too long that you're like, oh my god, this is 2.5 hours, whatever. It's not as bad as people made it sound, but of course, it's like everything else. Just like the Transformers Age of Extinction, everybody jumped on the bandwagon and bashed the living daylights of that and last night. They're doing the same thing with Gemini Man, unfortunately. It's too bad because Will Smith's a good guy, good actor, love it, want him to catch fire in a sense again and find his niche in his movies so he can keep on going, but pump the brakes. It ain't as bad as he is, like I said. See it if you want to. If you don't see it, it's not the end of the earth or something that the world that you're not gonna be able to see it. So that's my non-spoilers. Spoilers now. Put that thing up. I'm gonna go through the what's the details, guys. So basically, it's an hour and 47. Came out October 1st, 2019. It's rated 14A. It's by Paramount Pictures. Directed by Ang Lee. That's the guy who brought the original Hulk movie. Just in case you guys don't know who the director is. He's pretty cool. A little innovative. He's with his camera angles and stuff like he did with the Hulk. He kind of brought a little bit of that, but I didn't know. It's not jarring whatsoever. The cast. Will Smith. Mary Elizabeth Winstead. Clive Owen plays the baddie. Amazing job. Perfect. He's in it, but he's not in it. Let's just say that. Benedict Wong plays his buddy Baron. You got Douglas Hodge. He plays another friend of his, Jack Willis, I think he is. He meets him on the boat, guys, and then gives him a tip. Hey, go to Budapest to meet this Yuri guy, because for some reason you killed a doctor that you shouldn't have killed. It unravels. I'll get into it. You got Linda Emond, who played Janet, like his direct boss, who's in charge with his other boss there, which I'm telling you, it just goes crazy. Like, it's all over the place, But anyways, that's the cast. So the beginning of the film opens up with him taking out a target, some sort of guy on a train from 250 meters away. It's moving so fast. He ends up shooting him through the window from way up before he hits the train tunnel, kills him with the help of one of his buddies. He ends up biting the bullet down the road that he's working with recently. He noticed he missed a little bit of a step, and he's like, decided, you know what, I think it's time for me to hang it up and retire. And of course, this pisses off the people he works for, because he is the best at taking out targets, and we find out later that the person that he took out is really not who he's meant to be. He's actually a bioscientist that's behind this whole program, but Clive Owen's character wants him dead, but he's works with the other agencies, who ends up cloning a whole bunch of Will Smiths. I'll tell you, well, one Will Smith that we know of at the beginning, right? So he sends the younger self, who knows the older Will Smith, to take him out, because the only person who can take this guy, who's phenomenal, is the younger version. But anyways, so Will Smith is retiring. They end up going after him at his house. He escapes. He meets up with Mary Elizabeth Winstead's character, who's working at a loading dock early in the day at the fishing place, trying to spy on him, get information. His boat was tapped, and he meets up with his buddy. His buddy ends up dying. They end up ratting him out. So like everything, everybody rats on each other. They end up dying for no good. So he ends up taking Mary Elizabeth Winstead's character on the run on a boat to go meet his buddy Baron, who's played by Benedict Wong, Doctor Strange. Okay? That's where he plays from, for all you comic book nerds, to help him disappear, and then they end up following him there. The younger version of himself finds him there. Like, I'm telling you, it's crazy. There's a bike scene. Holy shit. Him against his own self. That was pretty cool. The different camera angles, I could see it like that, but it wasn't jarring. The bike scene with the younger guy using his bike and whacking Will Smith and going through the car and shit. It's crazy stuff. The action's pretty damn good and shot well, okay? I'll give it that. But it's basic. Like, you find out, and then the younger version ends up leaving because the cops show up, so he ends up escaping there for a little bit until he finds them again later on, and that's when shit really hits the fan. They have a confrontation in some sort of, in Budapest, Hungary, in the catacombs, and that's where they kind of like bicker back and forth, and the older Will Smith tells the younger Will Smith that, hey, listen, man, you're me, you're whatever the crap, this is how you feel, you've been lied to. Things start to unravel. He ends up going back to Clive Owen, the younger Will Smith, and basically gets kind of like confirmation that, hey, this douchebag that supposedly raised me when I was younger and shit and kept all these secrets is really the bad guy. So he kind of is having an epiphany that, do I work with this guy, not work with this guy? So he ends up kind of like partnering with younger Will Smith, that they kind of try and figure out a way how to get to this guy later on. So they do so. They end up going back to where, I guess, his compound is back in Georgia. And that's where shit really hits the fan. he gets attacked by a missile. Things get boom. Benedict Wong gets killed in a damn explosion in a van. The other one gets hurt. Mary Elizabeth Winstead character gets hurt. The other young Swift, Will Smith, decides to go after Clive Owen, manages to knock him out, but not completely. Clive Owen's still awake. He ends up ordering another, I want to call him like a super being, man. He reminds me of a cyborg, a Robocop kind of type of guy with powers. You find out that it's another clone of Will Smith. You see like fire explosions and shit like that. And then he ends up dying. He doesn't feel no pain. That's the next progression or level. And Clive Owen's whole responsibility or reason for him doing this because he was retiring. They need people to kill. And why not have a clone of the best soldiers? So instead of sending their own kids and fathers and mothers and stuff and grieving losses during these terrorist attacks and trying to take them out, that they have this particular, and since they're not technically people, even though they still are, even though they're clones of other people, especially Will Smith, who cares if they lose? It's not important, right? Because they're saving all these lives, which didn't work. And then the younger version wanted to take out Clive Owen's character, but of course the older Will Smith, the real Will Smith, doesn't let him do it. He goes, "You're going to regret this," or whatever the hell. He goes, "Change your life, be a better person, go back to school, fall in love, do the shit that I never did, enjoy life." So that's what happens, guys. Will Smith ends up shooting Clive Owen, kills him, and then it's, I think, 6 months later is where we pick up. You have Mary Elizabeth Winstead's character teaching or something at some sort of school. You got the younger Will Smith at school meeting up with the older Will Smith to go get lunch or some crap, which is pretty cool. They kind of get together. And that's where you notice, guys, this is where the shit really pissed me off, because I can see this is what people attack the movie on this angle. The special effects, computer graphics, or the anti-aging younger Will Smith was noticeable. Like, it was bad. And I think that's where, because of that, killed the rest of the movie, and people were just jumping on the bandwagon and really laying into the film. It looked bad. You could tell it was either green screen with the fake Will Smith, and you could tell it was like a computer generated Will Smith younger one with the older one. Like, it really looked bad. They could have done it 10 times better. And there was one fight scene in the catacombs, guys, that they were fighting with each other. And you could tell both Will Smiths were fake. You could tell it. Like, there's no bones about it. Like, it was a cool looking scene, but because it looked so damn fake, it wasn't believable. It really took away from the film and enjoying that moment. Just like near the end and little bits here and there, like the last 15, 20 minutes, you could tell some people, nah, that looks so fake. It throws you off, right? But very simple plot, guys, from beginning to end. Like I said, the clone finds out the truth. He ends up doing good. They live a happy life at the end. Could there be a sequel? I don't think there will be, because it bombed in the theater. But is it worth watching? Yeah and no. Would I recommend it? Hell no. I won't tell you guys to check this out. You're not going to die if you don't watch it, and you're not going to die if you don't see it again. Like, either way, it's hit and miss. Not as bad as people are making it sound to be. I'm not giving it a complete pass. I'm giving it a bare pass, like just barely. And you'll see it in my final verdict in this video, but holy crap, like, I've seen worse movies, I'll tell you right now. Like, the special effects kind of remind me of, if you guys seen The Mummy Returns, The Rock at the end is the Scorpion King. That kind of bad, that you could tell that they could have done that a little bit better and it would have been more realistic. You thought with the technology they would do so, but hey, I guess not everybody can pull off what Marvel does with their de-aging process stuff, but it was noticeable, and that took away from the film, unfortunately, which kind of got all you guys to jump on the hate bandwagon and kind of bash the shit out of it, but it's okay. You can still watch it. You're not going to die, and if you don't watch it, you're still not going to die. So there you go, guys. That is my movie review on Gemini Man, starring Will Smith and Mary Elizabeth Winstead, and of course Clive Owen. Can't forget him. Those are the big three. Leave your messages in the comment section. Tell the king what you guys thought of the movie. Like, don't bash the shit out of it, because you know what? At the end of the day, people work on these films. They did the best with what they had, I guess. I don't know. But don't spoil it for anybody, as even though if you didn't like the movie, you did like the movie, just tell the king in the comment section below. And of course, check out my other movie reviews right here on the Movie Throne. Like, share, and subscribe. Stay off the king's throne, and I'll see you here with another movie review sometime during the week, guys. So until then, be the hell good, and I'll see you soon. Take it easy.